to me, the trajectory of media outside maybe the major cable networks and a couple of the national newspapers is it's going to become a de facto subsidiary of Facebook and Google.
Yeah, and what we did talk about on the podcast a few weeks ago was how particularly print publications are getting affected by this worse than anyone. Is the single thing that has generated the most news attention in the past, probably since the last presidential election, is COVID-19. And most of these outlets are not able to monetize on that because they've made all the coronavirus content free, right? So there's no paywall.
Yeah.
There's less ads on it. So I think Digiday did a story yesterday on the very same thing. So maybe they were just listening to the podcast and got inspired to write a story about. All I'm saying is we talked about it first, but that's a really unfortunate side effect for the media industry that was already struggling, right? Especially the print media was already struggling from a financial perspective. There's thousands of reporters that have been laid off or furloughed across the country, and now the single biggest attention getter they have isn't generating that much money for them.
Look, I think the net result is just going to be captured by the tech industry.
Yep.
Right now, it's kind of the majority of their revenues. It's like a friend.
And the tech industry is trying to make that less painful, right? By they're giving out these grants to local news publishers, and they're giving relief money to local papers and local TV stations and whatever. But I think all that is just to set up and make it a little bit easier to swallow when they swoop in and start owning all of them. The same way media conglomerates did in the mid to late 90s when they started swooping in and buying up swaths of local television stations and medium to small size markets across the country and snatch up small newspapers that were making, $100,000 in profit a year. But that was good to put into a portfolio. I think you'll see Facebook do that because if they can control the feed and flow, that gives them additional
they need the
advertising
content.
revenue.
I mean, what they need is the
they need content to put ad space.
They need content that feels organic, but is really professionally produced, but isn't ad content. And so that's the reason they're pushing money.
And that they can identify as reputable, right? Like they can point to it and say like, hey, this is not, freedomeagle.biz.
They get to control the authoritative sources.
Yep.
In the authoritative sources discussion is probably a whole other thing to cover, because what's really happening is the authoritative source is whatever Google and Facebook or Twitter designate as the authoritative source.
Yep.